Yo, what is up everybody? Today we're diving deep into one of the scariest games ever made, Outlast. Imagine this, it's a dark and stormy night. You are Miles Upshur, an investigative journalist. You're the kind of guy who doesn't back down from a story, no matter how dangerous it seems. You get an anonymous tip, a little email that tells you some seriously messed up things are happening at a place called Mount Massive Asylum. This isn't just any old abandoned hospital. It's a remote, creepy-looking place hidden away in the mountains of Colorado. The email says the Murkoff Corporation, a company with a shady reputation, has reopened the asylum for research. But the whistleblower says it's all a lie and things inside have gone horribly, horribly wrong. So what do? You grab your camera and head straight there, of course. So you pull up to this asylum and let me tell you, it's not a welcoming sight. The gates are locked tight and the whole place just screams turn back now. But you're Miles Upshur, and you're here for the truth. You find a way in, climbing over fences and sneaking through a window. The moment you step inside, the vibe changes. It's unnaturally quiet, but it's the kind of quiet that feels heavy, like something terrible is just waiting to happen. The place is a complete wreck. Papers are everywhere, furniture is overturned, and there are bloodstains all over the place. Your only tool is your video camera, which has a night vision mode. This becomes your best friend and worst enemy because it lets you see in the dark, but it also drains batteries like crazy. As you creep through the first few hallways, the true horror starts to reveal itself. You find a dying soldier, part of a tactical team that was sent in before you. With his last breath, he tells you to get out, warning you that the patients, the variants, are loose, and they are hunting. He's not kidding. Soon after, you get your first real taste of the danger. A huge, hulking figure throws you down into the main lobby. This guy is Chris Walker, a monstrous ex-military patient who will hunt you relentlessly throughout the game. He's massive, he's strong, and all he wants to do is rip you apart. Your only option is to run and hide. There's no fighting in Outlast. You are completely helpless. The initial goal is simple: get the heck out of there. But the asylum is a maze, a labyrinth of terror. Every door you open could lead to safety or to a gruesome death. You start meeting other inmates. Some are passive, lost in their own madness, rocking back and forth or muttering to themselves. They add to the incredibly tense atmosphere, making you feel like you've walked into a living nightmare. But others are hostile, ready to chase you down the second they see you. You quickly learn that the only way to survive is to be smart and sneaky. You have to hide in lockers, under beds, and use the darkness as your shield. The story is just getting started, and you realize the tip you got was a massive understatement. As you try to find a way out, you run into a very strange character. This man introduces himself as Father Martin Archambaud. He doesn't seem to want to kill you like everyone else. Instead, he sees you as some kind of apostle. He believes you have a holy mission to witness the gospel of this place and share it with the world. He's calm, but his calmness is almost more unsettling than the screaming maniacs. Father Martin disables the main power and tells you that you can't leave just yet. He says you have a greater purpose to fulfill inside the asylum. He's basically the one pulling the strings, guiding you deeper into the madness for his own religious, twisted reasons. He's your guide, but he is definitely not your friend. With the main exit blocked, Father Martin sends you on a wild goose chase. He wants you to go to the chapel, but to do that, you have to navigate through the most dangerous parts of the asylum. This is where you encounter more of the variants. These aren't just crazy people, they've been experimented on. Their bodies are twisted and mutilated. One of the most terrifying is Dr. Richard Traeger. He's a former Murkoff executive who became a patient himself. He's a skinny, surgical mask-wearing psycho who thinks he's a doctor. He captures you, ties you to a wheelchair, and in a truly gruesome scene, he snips off 2 of your fingers with a giant pair of shears. His chilling dialogue and his operating room are pure nightmare fuel. Escaping Dr. Traeger is a heart-pounding chase sequence that really shows you how powerless you are. You have to be quick and clever to outsmart him. While all this is happening, you're constantly being hunted by the big guy, Chris Walker. He pops up when you least expect it, his heavy footsteps and guttural breathing being the only warning you get. He's like the asylum's guard dog from hell. Every time you think you've found a moment of peace, you hear him nearby and the panic sets in all over again. The game does an amazing job of making you feel like prey. You're just a mouse in a maze filled with hungry cats, and each cat is crazier than the last. Throughout this ordeal, you find documents and patient files left behind by the Murkoff staff. These files start to paint a clearer picture of what was really going on here. You learn about the morphogenic engine project, It was an experiment designed to create a new kind of being, a host for a nanite-based entity known as the Wall Rider. The asylum wasn't for mental health treatment, it was a lab full of human guinea pigs. The documents reveal the horrific and unethical methods used by Murkoff scientists, showing a complete disregard for human life. The story goes from a simple haunted asylum tale to a dark conspiracy involving shady science and corporate greed. Following Father Martin's guidance, you eventually make your way through sewers, courtyards, and different blocks of the asylum. Each area has its own unique flavor of horror. The male ward is filled with aggressive patients while the female ward is eerily quiet, which is somehow even worse. The journey is a test of your nerves. You have to solve simple puzzles like finding keys or activating switches, all while being stalked by enemies. The constant need to manage your camera's batteries adds another layer of stress. When your batteries die, you are plunged into complete darkness, and that's when the real panic kicks in. Finding a spare battery feels like finding a treasure chest. It's your only lifeline in this pitch-black hell. As you get closer to the chapel, you start to understand Father Martin's plan. He's created a cult inside the asylum with himself as the leader. He and his followers worship a being they call the Wall Rider. They believe it's a god, a holy spirit born from the suffering within the asylum. Father Martin wants you to record everything to become the scribe for his new religion. He leaves you cryptic messages written in blood, guiding you towards what he calls an ascension. You finally reach the chapel, expecting to confront him, but he's not there. Instead, you witness a chilling scene. His followers have prepared a fiery sacrifice, and it seems they're waiting for something or someone. The story takes a sharp turn from scientific horror to supernatural horror. The Wall Rider is not just a myth or a delusion of the patients, it's real. You start seeing it. A ghostly, swirling black entity that floats through walls and brutally kills anyone in its path. It's unlike any other enemy. You can't hide from it in the same way, and you certainly can't outrun it for long. Its appearance is always terrifying, accompanied by distorted sounds and a sense of dread. You learn from more documents that the Wall Rider is a swarm of nanites, microscopic machines, that need a human host to survive. It's a fusion of advanced technology and pure, unrestrained psychic energy. Your journey eventually leads you away from the main asylum building and into an underground laboratory hidden deep beneath Mount Massive. This is the heart of the Murkoff operation, the place where the morphogenic engine was built and where the Wall Rider was born. The facility is surprisingly modern, a stark contrast to the decaying asylum above. It's clean, sterile, and somehow even more frightening. Here, the final pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place. You find notes from Dr. Rudolf Wernicke, the German scientist who created the project. He explains that they needed a host who had experienced immense psychological trauma to control the Wall Rider, and they found the perfect candidate. Down in the lab, you finally uncover the biggest secret of all. The host of the Wall Rider is a patient named Billy Hope. The morphogenic engine experiments gave him the power to control the nanite swarm with his mind, but the process drove him completely insane and left him in a catatonic state, kept alive by a life support system. The Wall Rider is essentially Billy's ghost, his consciousness projected out into the world as a physical, violent force. It was Billy, as the Wall Rider, who caused the initial breakout and massacred almost everyone in the asylum. Father Martin worshipped this creation, believing it was a divine being, not understanding it was the product of twisted science. Your final mission, given to you by a surviving scientist, is to shut down Billy's life support system. This, in theory, should kill the Wall Rider. You navigate the final, terrifying sections of the lab, with Chris Walker still on your tail. In a climactic chase, the Wall Rider itself intervenes, brutally grabbing Walker and smashing him to pieces, finally ending that relentless threat. You reach the control room and, following the instructions, you shut down the machines, keeping Billy Hope alive. For a moment, it seems like you've succeeded. The lights flicker, and the Wall Rider seems to dissipate. You are exhausted, injured, but you think you finally won. But this is Outlast, and there are no happy endings. Just as you turn to leave, the Wall Rider, now a swirling cloud of black nanites without a host, attacks you. It slams you against the wall, lifts you into the air, and violently forces itself inside your body. You are thrown to the ground, broken and bleeding. You have become the new host. As you lie there, struggling to crawl towards the exit, the door bursts open. It's Dr. Wernicke, flanked by armed soldiers. He looks down at you and realizes what has happened. He simply says, "Gott im Himmel, you have become the host." The soldiers then open fire, and as the screen fades to black, you hear the terrifying, inhuman sounds of the wall rider. The ending is a gut punch. Miles Upshur, the journalist who just wanted to expose the truth, survives the horrors of the asylum only to become the very monster he was trying to understand. He doesn't escape. He doesn't win. He becomes the next chapter in Mount Massive's dark history. The whistleblower who sent you the email in the first place, it turns out, was working for Wernicke to lure someone in to destroy Billy. Your entire journey was a setup. Outlast's story is so effective because it strips away all hope, leaving you with a truly shocking and bleak conclusion that stays with you long after the credits roll. It's a masterclass in horror storytelling.